Loathsome Things. A horror movie podcast, cast, with the quickly falling out of energy Josh and the guy who's going to pick up the slack, John. John, you talk now.
What the fuck? Whee! Okay, good. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Every one person out there in Podcastlandia.
Podcastlevania?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm John, as he just mentioned. And with me is Josh. Josh, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic. I'm already sweating. It's not even hot in here. And everything's great. Baseball season. Doge, I guess, is over or something. That's neat.
Yeah.
Turns out Elon Musk was a big old drug addict the whole time. That's a surprise.
Who'd have thunk of it?
Just imagine that guy popping pills constantly. I can't even picture it.
I do like all the people on the left who are criticizing him for using mushrooms. I'm like, okay, let's calm down now.
Oh, I had not seen that. I thought he was like on Quaaludes or the other one, whatever the opposite of Quaaludes are.
Speed? No, he's on ketamine.
Oh, okay. Nice.
The psychedelic, basically, that's used to treat things like depression in smaller doses, but he's apparently addicted to it.
Nice. So taking large doses of a psychedelic and then firing people by the 1,000.
Yeah, pretty much. But now that he's broken ties with Trump and referred to his great deal as, what did he call it? A disgusting abomination?
Nice.
I think the love story is over.
Wow, disgusting abomination. That's like some us language. Let's go.
I know. He must have hurt his brain to come up with that one.
Nice. Oh, great. And how are you, John? What's been up? How? And what?
I was off last week, which was delightful, as always. I didn't do fuck all, which was also delightful.
Nice.
Hung out with my daughter quite a bit. She just graduated from high school, which is insane.
Hey.
And, yeah, she's going off to college this summer, or this fall, I guess. So, gotta get those visits in while I can. Because,
holy shit.
She'll be gone soon. Well,
wow.
Just to Texas State and San Marcos, but yeah, it's still weird.
Yeah. I thought she was like 5.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
Apparently she's 18 and just graduated from high school.
Oh, man. So, wait a minute. That's pretty good. Does that mean that you're off the hook for everything now?
Yes, it does.
Nice.
Just got paid today. First post that paycheck. So yeah, that was now I have enough to still not do anything.
Nice. You're like, you know what? This is my garnish now.
I just got a $500 a month raise, essentially a $6,000 a year raise. That's what that amounted to.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's rad.
Yeah.
Don't spend it on her. Don't be like, no, you have to get a part-time job.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why break tradition, right? Yeah. I added it up, and I spent roughly $107,000 on child support over the last 20 plus years.
Oh, and wasn't it worth it?
Oh, it was worth it to watch my children grow up on Happy Meals and Taco Bell. Yes.
Oh yeah, Daddy loves you.
Or Mommy, apparently.
Happy Meals. I mean, what could be wrong with a Happy Meal? It's called a Happy Meal. It's like a big, beautiful bill. What are you going to do?
No, I am happy that they were fed, clothed, and housed consistently throughout their entire childhoods. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mom.
Good job, Mom. Or, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Cool. And what else?
Oh.
Oh, God.
I was going to go see Final Destination in the theater, 5, 6, whatever it is.
Bloodlines.
And then my daughter told me about a little film by the name of Bring Her Back. And I was like, no, don't know what that is. And then she said, it's from these 2 Australian guys. And I was like, oh, Lord. And then she showed me the trailer, and I was like, And then I read a little bit about it, and I was like, oh. And then we went to the theater and watched it, and holy shitballs, it's fucking amazing.
Nice. Yeah, after you told me that you saw it and that it was good, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that this weekend. And then I looked for it, and it's not on the internet.
Yeah, it just came out, but it's right up there, Midsummer, Hereditary, right there.
Holy shit.
I think so. I mean, it's fucking amazing. I kept reading all these reviews, and it was just kind of like, there's no way. Not after. Talk to Me was good. I mean, it was okay. I liked it. I think I liked it a little more than you did, even, but
yeah,
I didn't love it, and it had some issues. But yeah, those guys pulled it together.
That's the dynamic Australian directing duo Bilbo and Gilbo Filippo.
Filippo, yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, the years they logged, or however long they logged, doing Raka Raka, and then making Talk to Me, and then working as crew on the Babadook somehow paid off.
Nice. In that order.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. They had that lady. I don't remember what the fuck's her name. The something Hawkins. The lady from The Shape of Water. She's the star of that, and
wow.
She fucking kills it. She's so good. She's fucking amazing in that movie. So, because the rest of them are kids, basically. There's just 3. The rest of the cast is essentially 3 children. And they do a great job, but, she carries the whole movie. So, but it's fucking so good.
Nice. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it makes its way out of the movie theaters in short order so that I can watch it, because I haven't been to one of those, I think, since Beau is Afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's extremely violent, and it's kind of like Hereditary meets Daddy's Head in a lot of ways. It's like 2 kids find their dead dad and get taken in by this woman in a foster home situation. The daughter or the girl is blind. She can see shapes and colors, but that's about it. The son is older, and he's got some sort of trauma from his past that you learn about later. And the woman's really weird. She's kind of like hippie-ish and strange. And then you find out that she's way more than just weird. And that there's also a boy that lives there with her who is nonverbal, has his head buzzed, and has some weird scar thing under one of his eyes. And she generally just keeps him locked in his bedroom and just dismisses their concerns. Why isn't so-and-so out? Oh, he's fine. He's in his room. Let's go watch TV. It's like...
Okay.
And it just... To say that it goes downhill, like as far as the fortunes of the children, is putting it very mildly.
Wow. Okay, so I'm getting hints of Hansel and Gretel meets Honeydew?
Yeah, Hansel and Gretel, Honeydew, a little bit of like I mentioned, Daddy's Head, a little bit of Hereditary, a little bit of what else? I mean, just that kind of, you know, kids in a really horrible environment. There's even elements of like, well, there's an occult element to it as well. That plays into it and is dark as fuck, which really kind of helps bring in the hereditary element. But it's, I mean, it's really, really good. I don't understand how they pulled it off, but watching it in the theater where it's so loud and there's scenes on screen where it's like, I'm not going to give it away, but watching something physically absolutely horrible happening on the entire screen, and the sound is just like consuming your ears, and it is really uncomfortable. You remember in The Earth when when that guy gets his toe chopped off with the hatchet?
Yes. Oh my God, I'd forgotten about that.
Remember how uncomfortable that was? This is like that times 1,000.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Like,
God.
Like there were moments where I was like, oh my God, if I made this movie, I probably wouldn't have done this because it's too much.
Nice. That's the perfect amount.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad these guys are so stupid that they went ahead and just did it. But they're not stupid. They're really good. The movie is good. I mean, it even has like it's ultimately about grief, which is insane. That they're able to make that work and not have it be heavy-handed or stupid. It just, I don't know. It's a kick-ass movie.
Fuck yeah. I mean, if you look at Talk to Me, there was a lot of potential there. There was a lot of great stuff about that movie, but there was also like a lot of like, wow, these guys have some cool ideas. They have some really good like a flair for the visual and the conceptual, especially like occult related stuff. So I could definitely like it's really good news to hear that they've taken a step forward and that like the stuff that's coming out now is going to be good and that they've got probably years of making more and awesomer stuff in their future.
Yeah, I think the restriction for them was completely self-imposed. I mean, I don't think they had the confidence that they needed when they made Talk to Me, and they probably figured they had a better chance of making a name for themselves if they made something that appealed to a larger audience. Mm-hmm. So they picked a story that, you know, did appeal to a large audience and put them on the map. And they said they felt all this pressure to make this movie, and, you know, they really like stressed themselves out making sure it was, you know, as good as it could possibly be, which was pretty fucking good.
Nice.
But that's not the movie we're talking about.
Oh, no. Speaking of confidence and, like, doing things with competency, what are we talking about today, John?
Oh, man, we are talking about a heady, literary, intellectual film from 2015. Directed by a one Diego Rocha, by the name of A Ratter's Retreat.
Yes, it's pretty mediocre.
The first half I would call really bad. Yeah. And then the second half is at least disgusting and like wallows in violence, which is awesome. And then also really bad.
Really bad. So, John, I have to ask you an important question. We'll get into the deets of this movie and everything, but first, John, have you ever participated in a writer's workshop?
No.
Okay. So, this movie, what made me pick it is huge sections of this movie are devoted to just a camera is in a room while people are participating in a writer's workshop. And this movie was co-written by Jeremy Sheldon and C.M. Taylor. And let me go ahead and tell you something. You can tell that they have been in a writer's workshop because It is. They transposed the experience of being in a room with a bunch of people who aren't really good at writing, talking about their writing together, and man, they just nailed it.
That's awesome.
I have spent...
It's excruciating.
I have spent I don't know how many hours in a variety of weeks and months long writing workshops, and it's just like this.
Is there an old lady in every one that doesn't write anything?
Doesn't write anything. Technically, 2 old ladies that don't write anything, one of whom is so unimportant that she might as well have not even been in the movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just love every time they get to that one lady, they're like, Barf Breath, or whatever her name is. What?
Yeah.
How about your turn? And she's like, I have not written anything.
I
Okay.
am Swedish, and I have not written.
I was like, okay, great.
Yeah, neat. All right, and
So
now back
glad.
to the lady. How's having sex with a jungle going for your character?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this movie stars Camilla Beepoot?
Yeah, what kind of a name is that?
It's a good one. She plays Z.
Yeah.
You might know her as Reverend Mother Dorothea in Dune Prophecy, so good for her.
Oh, okay. She's a pretty lady. Nice to look at.
Yeah, she's got the hair. Hair going all over the place.
Great hair, terrible actor. She's all right in this.
She's okay. I mean, the actor shouldn't be only as good as the material, but, you know, there's only certain grades of material available.
Yes, that's true.
This movie's big get. You know, it's you get these little low-budget movies where, like, they have, like, one actor get. This movie's actor get is Christopher Fairbank, who plays Nigel. You might know him as Murphy in the film Alien 3, or the Broker in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, or Machtelberg in The Fifth Element.
I know him as Old Man Ethan Hawke.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely one of those. Like, is he the dad of the guy who plays the mask face guy in that other movie? Like, who is that guy? Who are you? Yeah, it's Christopher Fairbank.
Yeah, he's a well-known sort of actor. And there's people, you know, some of these other folks have done some shows, I think some British TV shows that are relatively well-known, at least there, but he's really probably the only face that most people would recognize.
Yeah, there's a lot of British TV in here. Like, you'll see, like, probably, I don't know, Rumpole of the Bailey, or Poldark.
Poldark. Oh, yeah. Dr. Martens.
Yes! The Nunny Time Mysteries.
Poldark?
Front yard, backyard.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of those. And
Sure.
That's about it on the credits, because this movie doesn't have any. The director, Diego Rocha, has done like 2 other movies. One specifically noted to be a TV movie, and I believe he's from Spain?
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I guess they kicked him out for making terrible movies.
Yeah, they were like, no, this is not for England.
Yeah, this movie is, it's really bad. Like, it was, I mean, at least Intersect is, like, funny bad. Like, this is just bad.
Yeah.
It picks up, and it's got some pretty camera shots, and, you know, for the most part, the performances are okay, maybe. I don't even know if for the most part they are, but has a little bit of money, so it doesn't look like total dog shit, but it's just, the setting is pretty cool, but the execution of the premise, it's like fucking Hardy Boys minus all the thrilling excitement.
There's literally a like sizable passage of this film that is just them like Scooby-Dooing through a house.
Yeah.
Like Willikers all the way.
Yeah, no kidding. And then the payoff in the end is so lame. It's so like by the numbers and predictable and just like, really? Oh, this is so stupid.
Yeah. There's this it's because these writers, this, if you look at Jeremy and CM or whatever their names are, this is their like pretty much only writing credit. Like one of them, I think one of them, it is his only writing credit on IMDb, and the other one it's like his final writing credit or something like that. Like it feels very like either not amateur but just low effort, you know? Like this was, like you said, it was done by the numbers. There's not a lot of energy being brought to the any of it, and then it fizzles out at the end, which it feels very much like college student level like fiction writing, where like you put a lot of energy into the thing that you originally had the image for, and in this movie's case it was the writing workshop part. They were like, that's what they had a passion for, and then they're like, oh yeah, we also need to figure out how it's gonna end, and I guess write that, and then have some guy who maybe speaks English, he'll direct it for us. It'll be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could have easily been made for British television and been, you know, immediately forgotten, and that would have been just fine. But,
and so,
it's a feature
to
film.
bring it a little bit more joy than it would normally, John and I are going to summarize it dramatically. We've put together words to sound a little bit fancier than our normal fare. And then in the end, you're gonna be like, huh, that was an awful lot of energy for that.
Now I definitely still don't need to see that movie.
Yeah, I would say unless you are specifically looking to experience a replication of the writing workshop, you can go ahead and skip this one. You don't really need to watch it. You're not going to be missing anything except like the concept of a guy who keeps Stella Artois in his pockets.
Yeah, you could, if you just need to see the writing part, you could pretty much just watch the first half, and that covers most of it.
Yeah, you can then skip the whatever happened after that.
Whatever Scooby-Doolery takes place later on.
Yeah, and just really fan service lesbianism.
Correct.
But what if they kissed?
And then it went nowhere.
Yeah, but somehow they were in love.
They broke through the icy exterior of the main character and then didn't bring it home.
Oh, man, they eschewed the innumerable plaza.
Yeah, they put shoes on Aubrey Plaza.
That would be amazing. I hate her feet. No, just kidding. Oh, man. Big sad rip to John Redcorn, Ken Hotate. Is it Jonathan Joss? Jeffrey Joss? I forget his name exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's a really weird story, too. It just gets weirder by the day, too.
Yeah, not happy, not good, very sad. I will say this, I'm kind of surprised. I never thought about John Redcorn, or the actor behind John Redcorn at least, and I am surprised that like all the way back then they're like, no, we should have, like, a Native American guy play John Redcorn. That would be, like, a normal thing to do, instead of the normal Hollywood thing to do is just have a white guy do it.
Yeah, exactly. Get Ryan Phillippe to do it or whatever.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Philippou, the third brother.
White man speak with forked tongue.
Oh, dance wolf many? Ah, Academy.
Me smoke 'em wampum.
Good. Good. Okay. All right, John, are you ready to kick off this dramatic summarization of the film
I am.
Writer's Retreat?
I so am.
All right. I will start in the green. Dear
Kick
audience,
it!
our notes are color corded. Corded? I talk now. All right, here we go. The Writer's Retreat is set upon a property which gets cut off from the mainland by the tides filling the causeway and has no internet or mobile service. There's Z, the protagonist author, constantly under threat by locals who don't like her bookish ways. There's Alasdair, a cravat bravado author and workshop co-leader. Joe, the hot young woman.
Nigel, the veteran war novelist. Daisy, the eroticist. Ooh. Steve, the bloke with a tall boy of Stella Artois in his poche. Trine, the Swede. Rosie, the amateur future J.K. Rowling. Phil, the modernist, who's dismissive of those less literary. And last but not least, Henry, the horror writer.
Yes, Henry swiftly goes missing, but the bobbies won't show until he's been gone ere 3 days hence. Flash glimpses of him, bloodied and tied up with barbed wire like something from his writing. Maybe, we don't really know, because we never actually get to see any of his writing. He's just a slasher author, apparently. Back to it. Z keeps everyone calm about his disappearance. Trini seems bothered and doesn't write.
Yeah, Trini.
I didn't get the umlaut in there.
I just went right ahead and called her Trine.
It's fine. I would too.
Rosie rails against her inability to regain visitation rights with her children. Oh, why could she have ever lost that visitation right? Steve is going through some personal shit and not doing well. Joe and Z spend time together. Speaking of Z's book, Z book, and share a spliff. Share a spliff along the wooded Foxdarth path. Fartharth path.
Yeah.
We get a glimpse, a wee glimpse of Z's activity from a murderer's hidden perspective.
Well, maybe.
Could be.
The perspective is pretty fucked up, because we never explain whose perspective that is, but we do see from that perspective the person who ends up being the murderer, so this movie can definitely go fuck itself.
Yes, and also the sound effects in this movie, or the weird musical beats in this movie, are so fucking weird.
And loud.
Really loud. A lot of the dialogue I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
And it's a real shame, because I was engrossed.
I was on the thrall of my seat about it. Rosie lightly rends her own flesh in the loo with a pocket knife, and by lightly I mean she just dips the very tip of the knife into a lightly healed scab until it just gets enough on the little tippy tip.
It's just oh wow, don't dig in too deep.
Oh no, sweetie. Yeah, let's see. Oh, Butchered rodent bodies appear in greater and grosser manners as the movie proceeds. Also, that's not relevant. Z snoops through the modernists' ephemera, finding gruesome car wreck photography, and the soundtrack intensifies like a ruptured spleen.
It tries so hard to build the tension, but I love how the modernist takes about 40 minutes to get up the stairs. Like, he's so intentionally walking slowly because they don't want to have him rush into the room and spoil the fact that she's in there. But it's like, do whatever the fuck you want. You're the one making the movie, like, have him drop his fucking glasses or something. You don't have to have him walk like somebody just kicked him in the nuts. But hey, I digress.
Well, you see, John, they had to, actually, because all it was pictures of a car accident. Like, it was very mildly, like, it wasn't threatening. It was just like, oh, he was at a car accident and took photographs that are kind of, gross, perhaps in poor taste, but
yeah,
not like, oh, he definitely made that death happen. Like, it's just fucked.
I guarantee you, if there was a car wreck in front of my complex with a dead body and a sheet over it, every motherfucker in this complex would be taking pictures like that.
Oh man, the people who moderate photography on Facebook would be having a field day.
You mean the public?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so Z gets saved at the last minute because Joe realizes that she's about to get busted and is able to I think, did she call him away? Oh, I think somebody's looking for you or something stupid like that.
I think so, but I don't even think she did it on purpose. Like, did she?
That's
I don't
true,
even
'cause she
know
didn't
if she knew
he
that
was
Z
in
was
there
in
yet.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So then he's like, just to make it more tense, he's like, okay. And then he goes down the stairs, and then it's so stupid. And then Z comes out and sees Joe. And they have a moment, and then all of a sudden Joe lays a smooch on Z, and then Z like digs in, and then they're kissing lustily, and
Digs in.
and it's just so romantic. And then Joe's like, "What are you doing in there?" And then she says, "Fuck off, let's kiss," and then I'll tell you later. And then they leave, and then we see more skinned animals, rats everywhere. The island is covered in ritualistically skinned rodents for no reason. They never explain it. It's totally irrelevant.
And early in the film, there was a dead rat that made them scream, but it had its fur, and it was full of maggots, and there was a kitty there, and that didn't have anything to do with anything. But then there's also skinned rats everywhere. It's really good writing, John. You see, writing is hard.
This film is so bad that it literally has a scene during the Scooby-Doobilization part of the end where they go into a room and they are jump scared by a fucking cat. The fucking cat. It's like, oh, wow. No one on the planet fell for that. Yeah. And Trine is always about to cry. Steve busts out a skillfully invented slice of guilt at the workshop and then gets really fucking angry for no reason.
Oh, man. He goes and has a cry up in, like, the attic or whatever?
He runs out of pocket beer and knocks a chair over and fucks off out of the room.
What a cool guy! So, like, it's hot now. So he has, like, a fancy beer. You're supposed to take the little butter knife and shave off the top of the head of the beer if you'd poured it in a glass, but he likes his Stella Artois at, like, human body temperature?
He likes it right at 98 point nards.
He takes a sip and he's like, ooh, I think I'm running a fever.
What a fucking asshole. And Just when you thought that there couldn't be any more douchebags on the island, Z's publisher arrives, who I believe is also BS-gotted. Is he not? I don't remember.
Probably. He's an enormous asshole. Like, he like shows up in a big SUV and he's like, "Babe, sugar tits, fancy fanny, come over here."
He's like the dessert at the end of the greatest writers' retreat of all time. Like, he's going to gift them with his presence and talk to them about publishing. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah. The worst. He's like Daisy in Dementia Part 2.
Yes, he is. Whoa.
Yeah. But we digress.
Yeah.
Joe walks in as Z's publisher kisses her forcefully, and then, Joe flimsily flip-flops out of the room because, sad and feelings hurt lesbians. It's fine. Oh, yeah. Important to remember, Joe's a lady. So all this time we were saying, Joe, don't picture a boy.
No, this is a very progressive film.
Oh, man. Joe's played by a lady named Poppy! Rosie decides to leave threatening voicemails to her ex-husband about coming back to get her kids, and then she orders a taxi in the night. When she goes outside in search of her cab, Rosie comes upon Henry's barbed-up corpse and receives a lethal bonk on the head.
Yeah, I like how she walks out the door with a flashlight, and then she's like, Nigel, or whoever the fuck she sees that she thinks she sees, and you think it's like somebody 10 feet away hiding in the bushes watching her, and then she walks like 500 yards down to the beach, and is the whole time like, Scooter? And then all of a sudden, you know, when she's 1 foot away, she sees the guy who's directly in front of her the whole fucking walk, all barbed up and blue. And then she's all, and then clunk on the head with a hammer. Okay.
Oh, man. And he's been out in the sun the whole time, and the whole point is, since he's been missing, all these people have been doing is just walking around aimlessly on the flat outside beachscape. And no one saw him, like, crucified up on a pike? Like, what's... Total bullshit. But then again, I mean, whoever's doing this stuff has time to just be like industrial, like what, conveyor belt skinning rats, you know, like they've got, I don't know. It's fine. The publisher gets stabbed in the room, and we see his blood pool away from his body, and then like surround her book. Her book is in the blood. Z's book is now surrounded in blood. You see, it's very artistic. Z, Trine, and Steve confront the modernist for having weird photos, but just then the lights go out.
Yeah, they confront him. She completely turns on him and is like, I saw the photos in your bag, you disgusting bastard. Clearly you are the murderer. Yeah. Is this true? Is this true that you have photos of a car crash? You are 100% a murderer. That's like, what the fuck are you people talking about? And then they just accept it.
Go ahead.
Well, then they're like, oh, no, he's not the murderer. Oh, well, let bygones be bygones.
Well, you see, the lights went out. It couldn't have been him. He was right there.
They just got Scooby-Doobled.
Oh, man. I like that the photo that sealed the deal for her. Like, okay, here's all of these photos of a car crash. One of them has a dead body in the... And then the last photo, the one that really, like, drives it home, is he took a selfie? It's like, oh... Well, then he must be evil.
Clearly a psychopath.
Then a selfie. I know how the order of photos in a digital camera work.
undeniable proof he killed that guy that no one can find. Yeah. So now the lights are out. They're fucking Scooby-Dooing. It's literally Scooby-Doo. They're Scooby-Dooing around the dark house. Everyone they have a lot of flashlights in this house. They go to make a phone call because apparently they're looking for the phone, which is like 12 floors up and 600,000 miles down the hall, and
it's looking at them. Its eyeballs are the eyeballs of a painting.
It's the Skinamarink phone, and so that Steve goes to make a call, and he's like, "Oh, hello, 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 hello," and then Z goes, the cord, which is clearly cut, and you would know immediately is cut.
Yeah.
And so, no, now they can't reach the mainland. Oh, they're in really big trouble now. So, anyways, yeah, and then they find Nigel's blood-blasted cane. So it's looking real bad. They scream as they stumble upon Joe in the darkness. Oh, the bedarkened Joe. Then they find the eroticist's bleeding body propped up a window pane, rape, and then they all befall into a state of abject terror, each after the other. It's a chain, a terror chain. It's an interesting phenomenon. You should look it up later. Anyways, so
instead of watching
Z wakes
this movie.
up. Yeah, Z gets conked on the old noodle and falls, but it manages to turn her head right before she lands on the ground so she doesn't hit her face. But she's unconscious. She wakes up, tied up in the kitchen with Joe and Trine, who tell her to be quiet. Not a problem, because that bitch barely talks. Someone drags in a D-eyed modernist into the room, which is kind of awesome looking, and also really bad, but kind of awesome anyway. And then we get cut over to, what was it, Steve has been dragged into another room, and the bad guy comes in. It's so obvious who it fucking is, because it's a tall, skinny, not very, able to move around too well person, and they're wearing gloves because they don't want you to see that it's an old man, who then slowly leans over into camera, and it's Nigel, the old war novelist. Yeah. Who ever would have guessed, except that everyone else in the entire story was called for. He's got a plan. He's going to write a book about surviving the Writers' Retreat massacre. He couldn't. Yeah. I don't know why he couldn't write that book. Well, I guess if he survived it and then wrote the book, it would help sell books. Okay, I get it. But still, also, fucking stupid.
It is the worst. It is, like, the single biggest disappointment in this movie is not whenever it's revealed that it was Nigel. It's that it was revealed that his plan is to torture and kill everyone and then pretend to be the only survivor and become a best-selling author that way.
That was his plan, to become a bestseller. Like, what are you, 90? And you finally get this plan worked out? And then, as we're soon going to find out, Nigel is a lot more spry than one might have originally thought.
Oh, yeah. He didn't need that cane.
No. I think he might hold the international old person's record for the mile run.
Yeah. Little known fact, Nigel fought the entire Falklands War single-handedly.
With his ugly tooth.
That one extra British toothum right up in there.
He did get pelted liberally with burning specks of gunpowder, leaving craters across the esplanade of his face. Writer's Room.
Oh, nice. Yeah. His face like the moon at night.
Like a white orange. Wait.
Oh, well,
Yeah, why not?
Like a white orange with black heads.
Fucking old person.
Very colorful. So then, yeah, we get this while Nigel is torturing Steve. Steve already has a really cratery wound in his head.
Yes.
And so Nigel, who just, like, gouged another guy's eyes out, but now for Steve, his torture is going to be rubbing what looks like a jar of paprika very lightly and gingerly into Steve's wound. Maybe it's cayenne, I don't know. It's just a little jar of red powder, and he's like, "Ooh, yes! What if I just dab a little of this?" And that's torture, folks.
He literally has an entire fucking table covered in bloody, torture implements, and he opts to use the jar of paprika to dab into the guy's wounds. That's his torture of him.
Like, well, you see, they're not torture implements. They are all kitchen utensils.
That's true.
It
meat
is just
tenderizer.
Like, yeah, a meat tenderizer, a steak knife, a butter knife, a filet knife, a dainty knife, a fancy knife.
Some sort of elongated, needle-nosy, plier-looking, roach-smoking implement. I don't know what you do with that. And then a wine corkscrew thing, and then he uses another one later to on someone. It's like, how many of these do you need? One is enough.
Yeah. Well,
he's old. He probably forgot he had the other one.
He probably forgot. I mean, he's not a great writer. We do know that about him. So maybe he didn't plan this out very well.
He definitely did not plan this out very well.
Yeah. In fact, he planned it out so poorly that after torturing Joe by stabbing her in the leg with a, carpenter's, stabbing knife? I don't know. Whatever those are called. He stabbed her in the leg with it and then left it in her leg and then dropped her back out into the hostage room where they're all tied with rope. And so while Steve is getting seasoned, Treen tells Z that whenever he takes her in there to torture her, because she just knows she's next, that she's going to distract him so that gives Z a long time to get away, because Treen is feeling sacrificey.
Yeah. And she knows she's next. Why? Because that's how it was written.
Yes, indeed. She was like, in fact, that page comes after this one. So then, while Nigel is... I've just abandoned the dramatic part. While Nigel is hitting her with the corkscrew, Z pulls the knife out of Joe's leg, and they're all, sad about it, and then cuts them free. Treen tells the worst story, oh, my daughter died in a car accident, and then that horrible modernist took photographs. No, but that didn't happen, no. But she tells a story, and he's like, oh, okay, well, that's why you weren't writing, I guess. And then kills her with the corkscrew into the ear. But then, whoop! He gets stabbed in the back by the same carpenter's knife that he had stabbed into Joe, but now it's Z who stabs him in the back, and then they make a run for it, but then Steve sacrifices himself by turning around to cluck WG, the character that we haven't mentioned until now because she is of no consequence other than a device that the writers felt necessary to have there. I think she's Nigel's wife, but possibly mom? It's really hard to tell.
he calls her mother, but it could be a term of endearment because they had children or something. They look like they're about the same age, 1,000. And she's like, I'm going to murder everyone now. Okay, dear. And then she's gone. And then till she suddenly runs at Steve really fast.
Yeah, she is just like super sprint speed, like WG Bolt, and stabs him. He clocks her to death on the head with a like piece of log that he found in a perfectly manicured lawn. Yeah, I don't know.
He runs up to a woman who's running at him with a sword and doesn't make even the slightest effort to sideswipe the sword or anything, just lets her stab him and smacks her in the face with a fucking log.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you didn't... Okay, that's fine. You just got
fine.
stabbed. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Hey,
and then...
stabbed.
Completely unperturbed by this, maybe even according to plan, since he wanted to be the only survivor, here comes Nigel with a pitchfork that had been lying on the ground, and yet no one had stepped on it, thus making it jump up and slap them in the face. Real big missed opportunity there. And skewers Steve in a manner resplendent of his war novel, where he talks about stabbing the bayonet of his rifle into the yellow enemy flesh. Real good stuff.
Yeah.
Authorial. Z
my God.
and
then
J.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
Sorry, he throws the pitchfork, and it makes the sound of like. I'm trying to think of the sound effect that it makes. Like, did he throw? It sounds like somebody threw a baseball bat onto like a basketball court or something. But he throws the pitchfork into the grass, and it's like ka-dunk, 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 ka-dunk.
Yeah.
What the fuck would happen there? What? Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's what happens when you ask your friend, "Hey, do you think you could be a Foley artist?" It's like, "Oh, sure, here. What did that sound like?"
That sounded exactly like a pitchfork landing in grass. Perfect.
Good enough for me. Seal it up and send it to Hollywood. Z and J limp down the beach with Nigel in calm pursuit like a slasher movie. It was actually very much reminded me of Black Sea. But then, sadly, no horrible, like, trash whale jumps out of the ocean to crush and eat things. That would have been great.
A real missed opportunity.
Yeah. Instead, Nigel just slowly confronts them, and then they have a little three-way fight on a real drab-ass beach with a tree, and like, Z goes limp, and he drowns Joe for a really long time in the most brutal scene in the movie. If it was not so limp and no one no one thought that was gonna be the take, but I think they didn't do another take, so here's what you get. And then Z stabs Nigel in the heart with the just still holding in signature weapon of this movie, the Carpenter's stabbing knife. They have this whole like back and forth before he drowns Joe, where she's like, you're such a bad writer that this is all you could come up with? And he's like, oh, but you didn't know you were falling into a trip the whole time. And all of this shit goes down, and then the movie fades out. Because Z is crying over her beloved Joe's body. The woman she just realized she wanted to kiss, like, yesterday?
Yeah, like in the middle of the night that has now turned into morning.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell how long things are going on. Anyway, fade out. Z has written a best-selling book called Writer's Retreat, and it's about her surviving the Writer's Retreat massacre, and there's a girl in the line of people waiting to get her autograph. Could that be Joe? No. No, in fact, it's just some bitch. And someone brings up their book for her to sign it. She flips to the page to sign it, and that page is the dedication, and it reads, "Dedicated to Joe," or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she signs it. And
well, yeah, that's true.
And it makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah.
The big gotcha moment in the film is when she tells Nigel that he's a shitty writer and his stupid plan. All you shitty male writers who think you're geniuses, now you have this shitty plan and it's not going to work. Ha 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 ha. Like, this guy's like 100 years old. Like, he spent his entire life doing whatever the fuck it was he was doing. Now, all of the sudden, he's decided he's going to go on, like, this ridiculous spree killing, and kill all these people that are, the oldest of which is like a third his age. But somehow he's, magically everywhere at once, and no one can figure out who he is because they're too fucking stupid to care. It's just, it's so bad.
Yeah.
And then she tells him about how his idea is so bad. Like, you fucking idiot. Like, you thought you were going to be famous with this dumb idea. Then she takes the idea and becomes famous with it.
It's so bad!
It's like, wait, what? Is that supposed to be clever? Did those two guys blow each other for like 10 hours as soon as they were done writing that? The guy was like, "The end. Whip it out, buddy." And just for like hours and hours afterwards.
The party tape? Yeah!
Get that shit.
Yeah. No, like this all the way reminds me of college level, like, fiction class writing where, like, at the beginning of the semester you turned in an assignment, which was this, and then the professor said for your final, you have to finish writing that thing, and so now you have to finish the thing that you do not have any enthusiasm left for, and then it's this movie.
God, so much writing instruction would be so much better if you had everybody write, write an amusing anecdote that happened to you when you were a child or whatever, and then I'll read over them and we'll critique them, and then you get the first one and you read it and you're like, this is shit. And then you get the next one, you're an idiot. And then, this is awful. How did you even get into school? And just go on, like, down the list, and that's it. That's what, if that was 99% of all writing instruction, like, oh, this is terrible, try again.
Yeah.
No guidance, no direction, no, So you need to speak from the perspective of none of that kind of stuff. Just This is pure shit. If you don't leave my classroom right now, I'm going to murder you.
Yeah. I want you to open the document. I don't want you to delete the document. I want you to open the document, hit select all and delete, and then hit save.
Oh, you hand wrote it? Here, let me rub it on my testicles. Do it again.
Let me nutscape thine manuscript.
Let me nutscape thine screed.
Oh, man. The nutscape monologues.
The timeliness of picking this, I have to commend you on, because I doubt seriously that you were motivated by the fact that fucking James Fry is back in the world of writing. You remember Million Little Pieces, the quote-unquote autobiography that he made up all the good parts in? And he was on Oprah and everyone loved him, and then it came out that he made a bunch of it up, and for some reason people cared. and turned out that he was just this opportunistic asshole the whole time. He's now back, and he's written a novel, apparently large portions of which he intentionally used AI so that he can show people that there's no difference between him using the right kinds of prompts to get AI to say things in his voice and the actual writing that he did himself. In no way is this another way of him trying to sell a shitty book. No.
Oh, man.
No.
And then he's probably gonna, like, end up on the Joe Rogan podcast or some shit like that, and then it's gonna turn out he didn't use AI.
He'd be like, I can see you used AI here, because this is really bad. And then he's gonna be like, actually, I wrote the whole thing myself.
I excruciated over that.
I can't even believe that guy's still alive. That guy should have been assassinated for public interest.
You know, I bet, I'd be willing to bet that whenever it came to light that he was a piece of shit, it probably just gave him a bump in sales, because then people were interested in it for that reason, and all of the people that were interested in it for them being like sappy assholes in the first place had already gotten his book. So it was just like, this'll do the thing. Like, yeah, it's his all book, such bullshit.
Yeah, his book, it was doing okay, and then Oprah picked it up and it went crazy, and then all that shit happened, and then they couldn't keep it in stock. It was like, people were buying it like crazy because they had to have the shitty book the guy made up. It's like, why is this a thing? It's called fiction. I guarantee you 1,000% not the only guy to write a bullshit autobiography. It's just the only time anyone cared.
Yeah. He was the one in a million of that.
It's an autobiography. It's not a transcription. He could have just said, I've changed some things around because the truth is really fucking boring. And that would have been fine. And then if people liked the book, they wouldn't give a shit, because who cares? It's not like you want to know the guy. Fuck that clown. But if he wrote a good book, I don't care if he made the whole fucking thing up. It's called fiction. Fucking Glenn Fry.
There's a role-playing game designer who I used to interact with occasionally on the internet, and she made a successful Kickstarter. Had this thing going, got a bunch of money for it, and then the fulfillment of that Kickstarter was late. Like people are like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And then she copied and pasted passages from other successful role-playing games that were already similar to what she was doing. Wow. Changed the wording just enough to make it seem like maybe it wasn't copied and pasted, and then others didn't even bother with that, and published it as her own thing, and the thing that she copied and pasted from was even, like, available, like, to use through Creative Commons. All you had to do was say, hey, I used this stuff. Here's that author's name and a link to their stuff. And she would have been able to do that for free, but didn't. And so, like, ended up having to, like, go into internet hiding and, like, deleted all of the social media and stuff like that. And it's just like, people do stupid shit, and writing is not easy, but people are very bad at it.
Yes, they are. Whew. Boy, are they. Including the dudes who wrote Writer's Retreat.
It's just not a good experience. John, how would you rate this movie? Just to close it out, and then we don't have to talk about it anymore.
A 6.
A 6? It's the same for me. It's barely a 6. It's not really the 6 that demarks worth your time.
Yeah, the second half was more entertaining. The kills were kind of fun. It got a little bit kind of crazy there for a while, when they had everybody tied up and you had all the implements and stuff, and he actually had a chance to act a little bit. That was okay. That was the best part of the film for sure. But they just didn't know how to. They didn't know how to tell a fucking story. There's no story there.
Yeah,
and so that the whole thing just it didn't even fall apart because there was nothing to fall apart from. There was just nothing there really.
Yeah, it was like having a premise but not a story.
Yeah, it's just like. Yeah, we're gonna do what if we do a writer's retreat and they're all locked away on this little island that gets landlocked everyone, or gets the tide comes in and they're isolated, and then one of them comes up with this stupid idea to kill everybody, and then he's gonna write a book about surviving it, and it's a murder mystery plus writers.
Yeah,
perfect. Write it. What? Don't you want intrigue? Nope.
No. But make sure to make it so that the fact that it gets it doesn't the tide comes in and you don't have access to the mainland. Make sure that has nothing to do with the plot. It's just we cannot afford a boat.
Yeah, let's have it to where anytime anyone's on the island and the tide comes in, there's literally no way for them to make it back to land 100 yards away.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and give it a really interesting, dynamic setting, and then not really use that in any way other than as a backdrop for scenes and to give someone a puddle to drown in.
Let's have some voyeuristic scenes where women are beginning to take off their clothing and then change their mind and then change the scene.
Yeah.
What are you doing? If you're going to be exploitative, just go for it. If you're not, why even bother?
Yeah.
so dumb in every way.
Let's have let there be 3 hot ladies in here, and then we're gonna make 2 of them kiss, and then the other one's gonna fuck another dude after talking about how sexy it was when the jungle touched her.
And let's have the best part of the movie will be the kills. Let's have some of them happen off camera.
Yeah, let's make this movie really gory off camera, and then on camera almost tender.
Also, let's have a character named Trine.
She's Swedish for no reason other than I thought it would be good to write a Swedish character who's sad.
So they're all British, right? Oh, hold on. One of them's Swedish. Whoa.
Oh, man. If you set this whole movie, instead of behind a causeway in England, I'm guessing Wessex or something, instead of that, if you set this in, a cool, town with a little league team in Maine, you could make this a movie that even Stephen King would have been like, no, I'm not going to write that.
But if I do, please make sure Mick Garris directs it.
Yes, please.
And I want to make sure that it's exactly like the book no one liked, and I'm going to be pissed if it's better in any way.
How dare you make a movie better than my book? I'm gonna write a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, did you rewatch Matt Mercer and Mike Teston's Dementia Part 2, 2018?
I did. It was, it's pretty good. It's short. That was nice.
Yeah.
It's got beavers. It's got ravenous old ladies and sex
more than
starved.
one way ravenous. I like it. That's very writerly.
Sex-starved young ladies who show up when the movie's almost over, and a guy that is really, really horrible. And even though he's on screen for about an hour, it's way too long. So,
yeah.
It was great.
Oh, yeah. I guess Reggie's actually more the publisher of Dementia Part 2 than Daisy is. He comes in, he's got a boner, talks about making money. So
Pogo sticks around. Yeah.
Just almost decides to boink an old lady, but then it's like, meh, no, I don't think so. Oh, this is kind of nice. Wait, no, I'm not into it.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. What'd you think? You rewatched it? I take it.
I did, in fact, rewatch it. It was not better than I remember. There's just a lot of parts of the movie that I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
So there was just more of it than I remembered. I thought I was gonna dislike it more than I ended up disliking it upon rewatch. You know, there's a lot of good slimy stuff. Some of the jokes land better than others, like the part where he gets electrocuted. It was delightful.
It was. What was I remember that the guys who made it had been presented with the challenge. If you make it in I forget how long it was, but if you make it in that period of time, I will show it at my film festival.
Yeah.
In a week or whatever it was.
I think what happened was they lost a bet with the Manos Hands of Fate guy, and so then they had to film this movie without shoes on. Is the lore of Dementia Part 2.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like we had said before, it's for what it is, it's a triumph. For what you want it to be, it's a total failure. No.
Nice. So, if you had to give that some sort of weird satanic numeral value, how would you grade it?
I would give it 2/3 of a Satan.
Satan is such a title for a romantic song.
2/3 of a Satan.
Yeah. There's gotta be a Meatloaf track in there somewhere.
And yourself?
The same. It's a 6/6 for me. You know, it doesn't take it all the way there, but for what you're getting and how short it is and how slimy it is, it's just bonkers enough to keep your interest and have a nice little time watching a movie. It's fine.
Yeah. It's worth a watch if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah, get out there. It's on Prime and elsewhere.
Saint Elsewhere. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saint Elmo's Fire. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. John,
yeah.
In 2 weeks, whenever we record another episode, we will be revisiting Bob Clark's Death Dream, and I'm very excited about that.
So am I.
Yeah.
It's like, oh good, a movie I want to see again.
Yeah. Whenever I saw that was the next one, I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I was like, oh yeah! It's like Nigel if he came back way more badass.
In the 60s, when he was only 140.
It's like, oh yes, I fought in the Falklands. Not that Falklands. The 1840s Falklands War.
Yes, I also fought in the Boer War.
Oh, good. Timely. Oh, yeah. A war that a lot of people only recently remembered existed.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
In addition to revisiting... Well, wait. Back it up a little bit more. John, other than that movie that by the Philip Papose, what other content, cinema or otherwise, have you been consuming like a good consumer of content?
Oh, nice. As I had mentioned, I went back and decided I was going to watch all of the Final Destination movies in preparation for Bloodlines, which I did not watch. And I also did not achieve watching all of the Final Destination movies, but I think I have 2 left. I got through 3? Yeah, 3. I think there's 5 and then the one in the theater, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's Final Destination, Final Destination 2, Final Destination 3D, and
Oh,
then Final Destination? Or is it Final
yeah.
Destinations? I don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's just called Final Destination just to make it more confusing. I don't
Yeah.
guess
I
it's words.
remember a few years ago I watched that. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's been a long time since I watched the first Final Destination." So I watched that probably when we did the recording for Final Destination 2, and I watched that and I was like, "Huh, I don't remember Final Destination 1 being this way." Oh well. I bet if you go back and listen to our podcast about Final Destination 2, I reference scenes in that movie as if it's from the first Final Destination movie. So,
Yes, exactly.
good.
Oh yeah, and then I watched Wolf Man,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Blumhouse joint with Julia Garner and that perennially stoned looking guy that was in Possessor. Um,
Oh,
and it was fucking terrible. Um, so yeah, that's what I watched. How about yourself?
nice. I have not seen any of those movies. Just kidding. I've seen the Final Destination, but I did not see Wolfman. I really don't care about a werewolf. I mean, I suppose if I was going to watch a werewolf movie, it wouldn't be a Wolfman one.
Mm.
Um, I'd go with one of those ones where it's like, what if a werewolf was a tourist and had gone to Europe?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be neat or something like that? Maybe a ginger snap. Is that
yeah,
werewolves?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ginger Snaps is great, but yeah, they don't even look like wolves in this fucking movie. They look like some sort of semi-hairless dog man. It's fucking terrible. It's so bad.
Oh,
It's just the worst.
yeah. Universe, like the universe. I mean, people talk about the Invisible Man, right? Is that the
Yeah,
one that they said
Universal's.
was good?
Yeah. The one, and that's the same director. The one that made it with what's her nuts from Handmaid's Tale,
Handmaid's
Kate
Tale.
Moss.
Yeah. Yeah, Kate
Yeah,
Moss. Yeah.
Kate
I like
Moss.
her.
Wait, no, Kate
No.
Moss. Kate Moss is a supermodel. Something Moss.
Yeah. Rooney Mara.
That's it. Flippity
Yeah.
gibbets Moss.
Yeah. Hol- no, I don't have anything coming out of my mouth anymore. Okay. Yeah, I've heard people say that that one was good. I think everyone would agree that the Tom Cruise one about the mummy was
Ooh,
a masterpiece of cinema and
yeah.
stuntsmanship and
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't. Well, no. This Wolf Man movie is not. It's not a base. It's not based. It's not based on the Universal. It's just. It's just its own stupid fucking thing. So,
Oh, it's not a universal Wolfman
no.
like the Invisible Man. It's
Mm-mm.
it's a different Wolfman.
Yeah, it's a totally different story that no one cares about. It's fucking terrible.
Wow, that sounds like ass.
It's
Um,
career killingly bad. Yeah.
ooh, ouch. Oh, sorry, guy, and sorry. I'm guessing Pippa Moss, whatever your name is, that we can't remember your name.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah, who, by the way, is now done with Handmaid's Tale, which also I personally think sucked ass.
Wow, hot takes. I watched the first season of it and never went back for more. But
Good
every
call.
time it comes up on Hulu, I'm like, wow, I should really watch Handmaid's Tale again. And then I don't. And apparently, I've been doing that for like 5 seasons. I had no idea
6.
it's been going for that 6 fucking seasons. That's wild.
6 seasons of women being tortured with almost no retribution, and then when the payback finally happens, it happens in about 10 minutes in the final episode, and then a bunch of other dumb shit happens that you don't care about, and the series is over. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, I watched women get tortured, we watched clitoridectomy taking place, dismemberments, hangings, rapes, just constant demoralization, denigration, treating women like cattle, like 6 seasons of this shit. And then by the time it's over, it's still pretty much just shitty.
Huh.
Like shitty as in you assume that things are going to get better, but not really, because women suck. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sounds terrible.
It's really depressing.
Wow. Damn. I've seen, like, the little thing that pops up. It's like it's like her and someone else, and they're on an airplane. I'm like, wow, that looks mundane. What a great shot to tell people you should watch this show.
It's really well made. The first 3 seasons are very good, but they are grueling. And then it really gets bogged down, and it redeems itself at points, but I thought the ending was really disappointing, which for me ruined the whole series. So, yeah.
Damn.
Great. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You heard him. You heard it here, Margaret Atwood. 2 white guys on the internet aren't huge fans of a TV show that other people made out of your book.
Let that be a lesson to you. Maybe one day people will start listening to white guys on the internet.
Why couldn't you write something good like the screenplay for Writer's Retreat?
We're suffering, what is it, male fatigue syndrome or whatever the new thing is that these people are claiming?
I have not heard of that, but it sounds real.
Yeah, it's an excuse for why men suck so much.
Because
they're just so tired.
Yeah. Elon Musk is tired of taking all that ketamine.
He's fatigued. It's not so much that he's a completely worthless, immoral piece of shit. He's just tired.
Yeah. You can see it in the dark bags around his eyes.
The black ring around his eye that apparently his 4-year-old gave him.
Oh, good. Well, if someone deserved to give him a black eye, it's that kid. And a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So I watched a movie called The Surrender. It's on Shudder.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's got some good parts. It's you gotta resurrect a guy, and maybe you end up interacting with a demonic plane of existence, and things get really gross and weird. But also, maybe it's all an allegory to grief and mourning and survivor's guilt, and maybe it kind of ends with a little bit of a yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I also followed up from last week. I watched Soul Survivor, the one about the lady who survives a plane crash a la Final Destination, and then is haunted not by ghosts, but the temporarily reanimated corpses of those nearby to try to kill her because death wants her to not survive. And it blew a lot of chunks. It was bad. I didn't like it. Yeah.
Great. Excellent.
Yeah. I also watched Park Chan-wook's two parts of the Vengeance trilogy. I watched Old Boy and Lady Vengeance, both for the first time. I had not seen either. Both excellent. I can definitely see the comparison. Like that Daredevil took some of its ideas for fight scenes from Old Boy. Like that was amazing. But honestly, Lady Vengeance was way better. I love that.
Way better. Way better. Yeah. I mean, I like them both, but yeah, Lady Vengeance is fucking good. It's so dark. I love it.
Yeah. At the end of Old Boy, I ended up going on, like, Wikipedia to be like, wait, what happened exactly? And Lady Vengeance, the whole time I was like, oh my god, that's so good!
What happened? Why did they remake it with Josh Brolin?
Why? Why? Don't, no. You take your spikes and you go home.
You take your spikes to Alvarez.
My friend.
Oh,
fantastic. And then I also watched a movie that I've been meaning to watch for a long time, but just didn't. And it was because of The Mask that I finally watched it. It's called Eyes Without a Face, and yeah. It was because the movie The Mask, in the dream sequences, they're wearing those masks that like the like face condom, and I was like, oh, like in Eyes Without a Face that I still need to watch. It was pretty okay, kind of boring,
really,
very European, but really cool, like early gore effects, like for the like they like show him like cutting someone's face off, but you know, a la 1960, so it's you know,
cold cuts. Yeah.
Yes, Carl Budding's face.
I'm like you. I had never. I've always meant to watch it, but I never have. And you've certainly sold it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still gonna watch it.
It's French cinema. It's not as much about the action, it's about showing people's mood, and then how that mood changes subtly after something happens.
It's riveting.
Oh, riveting.
God damn it.
I'm literally riveting my pants.
As soon as I said it, I was like, what the fuck is riveting?
I know. It's better than if you had said it the right way.
Oh, way better, because who cares?
Oh, yeah. Riveting. Oh, man. Hashtag that shit and get famous.
Riveting.
John?
Yeah.
When next we record this riveting podcast that everyone loves, before we revisit Bob Clark's Death Dream, what movie are we going to have spent more time talking about than we will that one?
I'm picking something that I've been meaning to pick for a while, and I'm really excited about it because I haven't seen it yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be very talk-aboutable. Anyways, it is we're revisiting the British Isles, and the year is 1992, and the movie goes by the name of Extro.
No way! Oh, so good!
Yes!
Yes! Oh! I'm excited. I actually haven't seen the movie. I just know that it's like, what if a Cirque du Soleil reject had an alien head glued to his butt?
That's pretty much all I know about it.
Yeah, and that there's a bunch of sequels, which I think I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say I'm going to watch, too.
All of them.
Yes. All of your shitty sequels belong to us.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, excellent choice, sir. I'm excited. I hope it's great. I hope it's terrible. And I hope it's everything in between.
Yeah, I think we're up in for a treat. I could be wrong. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I don't have anything to follow that one up with. I'm done. I'm toast.
Okay.
I hope, dear listener, that you are toast too. Please go about the rest of your days, sad, but perhaps not quite as sad, thanks to having listened to us on Loathsome Things.
And we're not at all sorry that all the people that died at the writers' retreat
Jesus.
died. Yes.